Hello, my name is Bettina Migge. I'm the head of the School of Languages, Cultures and Linguistics. And today I'm here to tell you a bit more about the MA in Linguistics and Applied Linguistics. Later on, my colleague Emma O'Byrne will come in and tell you more about the MA in Modern Languages. Please, throughout this recording, feel free to enter any kinds of comments that you might have into the chat. We really want to hear from you, and we're happy to reply to any of your requests, either later by email or in the O'Reilly Hall later on. The MA in Linguistics and Applied Linguistics is part of the School of Languages, Cultures and Linguistics. It is a multi-subject school, and the staff, as well as the graduate students, come from lots of different countries in Europe and outside of Europe. We have a very vibrant and dynamic research culture. So we have lots of talks and events, both national and international conferences. Another thing that's important to know is that we have very welcoming and modern atmosphere in our newly refurbished premises. So here you can have a glimpse of our premises. This is the kitchen where staff, but also graduate students meet to discuss research, but also just to hang out. On the right-hand side, you see our seminar room. This is where most of our MA classes take place, but also where we meet for events, talks, and all kinds of chats. Here you see the school office. This is an important place for people to come to. You can get all kinds of information here, such as help with module registration, official letters, and so on and so forth. Please feel free to visit the office at any time. Now, a little bit more detail about teaching at UCD. We have 3 trimesters. So the first one runs from September to November, the second one from January to April, and the third one from June to August. Graduation then takes place in December. The MA in Linguistics and Applied Linguistics is a 12-month course, so 3 trimesters. We have 2 study breaks, one at the end of December and early January, and the second one in March, usually the middle 2 weeks. Normally we deliver our classes in a face-to-face environment, but we also have blended classes. Our core classes in the MA in Linguistics and Applied Linguistics take place on Wednesdays in the morning and in the afternoon. What can you expect in terms of classes? Now, all of the classes have a 2-hour face-to-face component, and we expect you on average to work 6 hours a week per module. That involves reading, doing exercises, and so on and so forth. Most of the classes have between 7 and 15 people, and that relates to the core classes. In the option classes, you might have a larger cohort, simply because we don't run all of these option modules. Now, what does the MA in Linguistics and Applied Linguistics look like? So in trimester 1, you have 3 core modules: syntax, sociolinguistics, and research skills 1. In the second semester, you have phonetics and phonology, corpus linguistics, and research skills 2. In trimester 3, you do not have taught classes, but you sign up to either an MA thesis module, whereby you write a research thesis, or you can now also sign up for an internship module, whereby you do an internship and then write a report about the internship. We also offer a number of core modules. So you can see that in the first semester, we offer a range of option modules, such as minority languages, intercultural communication, language acquisition. In the second semester, you can take option modules such as global English, translation, topics in language and law. students typically take 2 or 3 of these option modules, depending on their specific interests. What does the assessment look like in the MA in Linguistics and Applied Linguistics? We offer a wide range of assessments, such as short essays, research papers, exercises, exams, hand-on projects. Most modules have more than one form of assessment. And all kinds of assessment that we have contribute towards enhancing your research skills. Here are some of the core teaching staff in linguistics. So on the left, you can see myself. So I teach sociolinguistics. In the middle, you see Moira Nikisson. She teaches phonology and minority languages. And on the left, on the right, you can see Sandrine Paraldi. She teaches corpus linguistics and intercultural communication. Then we have Jamal Ohala on the left, who teaches syntax, Sarah Kelly, who teaches languages and law and global Englishes, and Vera Regan, who teaches language acquisition. We also have support staff that you will regularly encounter during your studies. So the most important part are the graduate officer. We have 2 graduate officers right now, Shifra Pierce and Emer O'Byrne, and they will facilitate a lot of talks and events specifically aimed at graduate students. On the right here, you see Melanie Pape. She is the graduate administrator school. She can help you with any kinds of queries that you might have about your registration, about letters that you might need for specific purposes. So she'll be very helpful. In terms of research, one of the main things in this course is to teach you or enable you to do research. So all modules have a research component. We expose you to different types of data, data collection, data analysis methods. We expose you to different ways of critically analyzing data and different ways of applying research tools to different sets of data. So you learn all of these things in the different modules, and then during trimester 3, you apply that to your research component, or to your large research component, or you deepen these skills during trimester 3. Now, what are the unique features of this course? So first of all, an important aspect is teaching you academic skills. So we focus on hands-on project work and group work in order to enhance your independent learning skills. We also give you an opportunity to explore different ways in which linguistics interacts with other disciplines. We have important specialized teaching staff who are experts in their area. Our staff are usually extremely accessible. You can easily reach them using email or just knocking on their door. It's never been a problem to talk to members of our staff. And it is also very important that we have a very vibrant research community. So there's a lot of support for graduate students, not just specifically around their course, but more generally in terms of career development and understanding different kinds of research environments. So what is it that we do, for example, in the graduate research community? So you can see we have get-togethers where academic members of staff talk about how they developed their careers and how they found their research projects. We also have career building exercises whereby people from the careers office come in. We also have just simple coffee get-togethers where everybody can talk about their particular issues that they may have. Some of them take place in the kitchen, others take place in seminar rooms. We also have a very vibrant conference every year, usually in September, where graduate students present their work. So we look forward to meeting you very soon. And if you have any other questions, here are important, useful links that you can follow up. Feel free at any time to ask us any questions. You can send me an email, for example. You can also talk to us today in the O'Reilly Hall. Any kinds of questions that you have, don't feel shy to ask them. I now hand you on to Emer O'Byrne, who will tell you more about the MA in Modern Languages.
Okay, thank you, Bettina. My name is Emer O'Byrne. As Bettina has mentioned, I'm director of the MA in Modern Languages in the School of Languages, Cultures and Linguistics. And I'm also currently the head of graduate studies for the school. So I'm going to be running through, I suppose, just key points about our MA in Modern Languages, which is a program we're very proud of. It was one of the first in the country to allow you to study 2 modern languages at MA level. So I'll tell you what you'll be studying, how you'll be studying, where might this MA take you, what do you need to get in, and I'll talk briefly about fees and scholarships at the end. So if we just have a look, first of all, at the most basic question, what is an MA in Modern Languages? Like all of our MA programs, it's 90 credits, either full-time over 1 year, part-time over 2 years, and it corresponds to the NFQ level 9. Why then, you might be asking, would I do an MA in Modern Languages? And I suppose you can also phrase that question as, who does the MA in Modern Languages appeal to? I think if you have come to the end of a primary degree in Modern Languages, you might feel that you're just not finished yet. You want to go on a bit farther, you want to learn a bit more, you want to deepen your language skills, you want to learn more about, a European language and culture or two, as I've mentioned, the new world, I suppose, aspects of some of those languages, French and Spanish notably. So that's, I suppose, one category of student who might be particularly attracted to our MA. You may have come to the end of a Modern Languages degree and not so much just feel you want to study more generally, but that you want to home in on something more specific. So the thesis component, the research component of the MA is very important in that regard. And it's that kind of combination of being guided by taught courses and yet also being able to do independent research under the guidance of a noted specialist that is really the main, I think, draw of the MA in Modern Languages. Now, I suppose that's all quite general. If we think of what you'll study specifically, as I said, it's a 90 credit module. 30 credits of that is a research project, the minor thesis, which is about 12,000 words, 12 to 15. Then there are 6 taught modules, each of 10 credits each. You can either focus on one or 2 languages. If you focus on one language, you will take 4 modules in that language area. If you focus on 2, you take 2 each. That leaves you with 2 other modules. One of those, at least, will be a theoretical module, and I'll talk more about these specifically in a moment. And then you have a 6th module where you can take a 2nd theoretical module, another module in one of your 2 languages or in your sole language, or a cognate module. There's a certain amount of freedom in that 6th module. So to give you a bit of a more precise idea of what these taught modules look like, I mentioned that you take at least one and possibly two theoretical modules. You can choose from translation theory, cultural theory, which is, how have thinkers thought and written about what culture is. Literary theory, which is, a very kind of large body of thinking and writing about what literature is. So they're the kind of theoretical, if you like, foundation stones for your studies at MA level. And then, depending on the language area that you are looking at, it could be Spanish poetry, it could be post-revolutionary Cuba, it could be Latin American surrealism, it could be opera and literature across different languages, it could be migrant writing in French. There's a whole range of taught modules that you can choose from. You go through your taught modules, you'll be refining your ideas around what you would like to study, what you would like to research independently for your minor thesis. And when you come to do that, you normally pin down a topic, say in early January, if you're taking the full-time MA, and then you really do the bulk of your writing in April, May, June. And that just gives you loads of skills that are very, very transferable into a future career, data analysis, literature review, critical surveys, obviously writing and presenting your own argument yourself. And it's really, something that you should think of as a management task. Really, you're managing your own research project, and you are producing something at the end of it which is potentially publishable. So all of those skills of word processing, data production, editorial skills, you'll be honing those very much. So the norm then is for students to take 3 credits or 3 modules, 3 10-credit modules in the first term, 3 in the second term, and to spend the third summer term really finishing up your minor thesis. Your teaching will all be done in small groups with specialists in a seminar format, with presentations, discussions, and even outside the tutors that you will have on the MA, you'll have the chance to meet and talk to the academic staff within the school much more widely. We're a very sociable school. We try to take very good care of our graduate students. We have weekly check-ins for them at the moment, and it's a chance for you to meet a range of other students and also academic colleagues. So just, I'm sure some people are wondering, is there a career at the end of this? I mean, obviously, primarily, like, across the humanities, generally, the main prize is just the personal intellectual enrichment that you get from this study. But it is also a very good kind of stepping stone to a range of careers, I suppose, that involve approaches to culture, approaches to other cultures. So we have graduates who have ended up working for the European institutions, in the EU, who work in multinationals or public administration. We have journalists among our successful postgraduate alumni, translators. Obviously, it's also a stepping stone towards academia. It's a first taste of independent research when you're doing that minor thesis, and if you find that really really speaks to you and that you would just love to spend the next 3 or 4 years doing something very similar, then maybe you could think about moving from the MA into a PhD. It's also very often something that leads to the teaching profession, and it's very highly regarded as an additional qualification in the teaching world. And obviously, I've mentioned European institutions, but obviously our own diplomatic service too. We have graduates who've ended up in foreign affairs, for example. So all of that had you thinking, oh, I'm interested. Well, what do we look for from you, so that we can bring you into this program? Ideally, you will have a BA honours degree 2-1 standard in either French or German or Spanish or Italian, which are the languages of the school at the moment. You may come in from another kind of humanities strand, English, history. And if you have a very high level of written and spoken French, German, Spanish, whichever, then you may qualify for the program based on your independent language skills and your humanities background. So don't rule it out. Don't think, oh, I can only come in with from a languages degree. It may be that you have, from your own biography, that you have excellent language written and spoken in one of the European languages, and you could come in that way too. Although we do prefer you to have a kind of broad arts humanities background in that case. Now, I should talk briefly about scholarships, and these really mainly apply to UCD graduates or possibly to non-EU students. The great gap really is EU students who are not UCD graduates. If you're a UCD graduate, French, German, and possibly Italian, actually, I'll look into that, can offer a competitive scholarship. The College of Arts and Humanities also offers, for very high performing students, a graduate scholarship. If you're a non-EU student, the university and the college offers a global scholarship that you can apply for. So bear those in mind if you fall into one of those categories. Now, I think I've talked enough. I'll just leave you with some guidance as to who you can contact. If you have specific, say, German or Spanish questions, Dr. Jeanne Rioux or Dr. Tara Plunkett on those email addresses will certainly be happy to answer them. But if you have any question at all, feel free to contact me. I'm also the kind of French representative, but you can send any question my way, emer.o'byrne@ucd.ie, and if I can't answer directly, I'll pass it on to one of my colleagues in the other languages. Thank you very much.